Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back
To
the room that we created. Yes, it is indeed a room that we are creating. Today, we have a special treat for you. A very special treat.
Very special episode this is.
And this requires some backstory.
I'm so fucking excited for this episode.
We are going to get right into it. So,
you tell the backstory. But first, I just want to say. First we open our cell toys. You get a little LD. I love Liquid Death.
I am actually LDS. Liquid Death Sipper.
No peek, I don't think.
No peek?
Hell yeah, brother. What I was going to say is, I've never read the ingredients in a LaCroix, but I just had the thought of, like, does LaCroix hydrate you as much as water does? Or is there some more shit per ounce in there that's, like, less water?
There's like 1 calorie in there.
There's no calories. I read the back for the first time ever. There's no calories, no fat, no nothing. And it says ingredients, only carbonated water, naturally essenced. That's it.
So it's just water that they put in a seltzer machine, and then they like chew strawberries and breathe on it.
It literally says naturally essenced, not even flavored, because there is no flavor. There is essence of the thing.
Maybe it's just like an essential oil.
Yeah, it's not pamplemousse flavored. It's pamplemousse essenced.
Yep. So the backstory for let me explain what it is first. It's already in it. There's a reason we have a CD player with us. For anyone who is just listening to the audio, we have a CD player with us right now. And that is because we are playing a very special mixtape called Brainwork 2.
Brainwork 2.
Now,
my heart work and my brain work too.
I get it now. My first year in college, I did a lot of street roaming. I was kind of a loner, and I spent at least every day at 4:30, I'd go get the same food and go longboarding for like 3 hours. I think I've told this story before in a previous episode, but it was very esoteric, and it was a big part of my self-discovery, and it kind of kickstarted who I am as a person to this day.
Nice.
I would go longboarding on the lake every day with my arms out and learn how to accept myself and find who I am. Now, on one of these walkings, I hope I didn't mention the city I was in already, but I'll bleep it out if I did. But I was walking down the street in this Maynardville outerior location that we named in the Kevin episode. I need to go back and find it. But I'm walking down the street, and there's a dude on the side of the street, and he's selling mixtapes, and he gives me Kyrie Irving vibes. Mm-hmm. Right, like Flat Earth, like New Earth Christian vibes. Same vibe as the guy.
Like Bob, like the rapper Bob, like B.O.B., like Flat Earth shit.
Maybe, but he just reminds me of the fucking New Earth Christian guy from the story I told on the podcast of the guy who was like, oh, I don't believe in space.
Oh, right.
Reminds me of that guy. I picture the same person in my head when I tell both of those stories. And nice. This dude is on mixtapes, and I go down, I look at him, and I'm like, fuck it. Like, I would want somebody to buy my next mixtape. I paid this dude out $20 for this CD that may or may not work, and I kept it for, I would say, a year and a half.
It's just one of those gray CDRs that you would get at an Office Max with just Sharpie written on it, Brainwork 2.
Yeah,
for $20.
And I was really intrigued because I was like, this implies obviously the existence of a first one, but after listening to this, I'd be so intrigued to find the first one. I want
to goddamn listen to the first one so bad.
But I found on some Reddit forums some stuff about this guy, and like there's a weird cult thing going on with it. But there's anyways, I sat with this without listening to it for a year and a half, and the CD just traveled with me wherever I was living, wherever I went. I took it with me, and one night finally, we were driving around in Maddie's car, and I was like, we're listening to this, And so we had Xander, who is an Among Us piggy bank, who I'm going to go grab here in a second now that I've remembered this detail. But we sat and listened to it, and it was one of the most unexpected, like, fucked things we've ever experienced. And we're going to listen to it live surreal. And experience it again. There's only like 3 or 4 things that I remember, and I think those are going to be the key crucial moments to key into that. What I'm talking about?
Oh, certainly.
The letter.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna talk about those things.
Yeah.
But other than that, Like, we don't know what's going to happen.
Well, also, we've listened to this mixtape once, and it was a while ago.
It was a year.
Oh, yeah. It was oh, my God.
So that's what I'm saying. We only know like 3 or 4 things that we're certain we're going to talk about. We don't remember any of the rest of what's on this, and we're coming in with a fresh perspective. So I'm going to go grab Xander, the Sussy Baka, and I'll be right back.
All right. Lovely. Just brief fucking speed run recap. Like, a lot of people sell their mixtapes, you know, just on the fucking street near where we live, you know, in the city part of where we live. And, I mean, you've seen this. It's a fucking meme. Buy my mixtape, buy my mixtape. Just people peddling mixtape. When Warped Tour would come around, people would, in droves, hand out their mixtape. Everyone who's in the music scene remotely is familiar with this. Never, ever would I have imagined ever hearing music like this. And if I remember correctly, I like I said, it's been a year since we listened to it because we've only ever listened to it once, you know, and then we lost the CD. And Zach finally found it recently. It was like Brainwork, and we're
today.
Like, yeah, today you found it today, and it's like we're listening to that on the podcast live, and we don't remember like fuck all about it except for a couple key memes.
I remember the way the instrumentation.
I remember the way it made me feel.
Works. I remember the way
it's like fucking Quasimodo. It's like the rapper Quasimodo, but on fucking Quaaludes and like on the wrong Reddit boards.
There is an equation to like the music that he's spitting over. There's like a predictable pattern and equation, and so that's all I'll say. And I think that's the intro. And are we ready to hop into Brainworks?
Brainwork. I sure hope it does.
Brainwork 2, I sure hope it do. And the opening line of this album, I think, is going to set the tone for the rest of
Just imagine us in a car. You spent $20 on a seemingly ambiguously
a year and a half of trauma, love, joy, peace, happiness, sadness has led us to this moment in our lives. Some random fucker
on the middle of the street peddling his mixtapes to college kids. You know, not homeless looking, but just like in that hustler mindset.
Scenes from a memory we are having in this car.
And we are in a car, and Zach just with that being like, I bought this off a dude, a very like weirdy kind of dude on the street who is like ambiguously flat earthy type of dude. Just like, check out my mixtape, yeah, spreading, like trying to preach the truth out here, you know, where you only speak truth and like shit like that. Pop it in the car, and this is what we hear. Take this ride with us. Brainwork 2.
I think we listened to this opening line for 10 minutes straight.
Yeah, we...
You need this in your life.
It's so good.
It's so good.
The best introduction.
And then just silence. Track 2.
The Hustler's Handbook.
Hustler's Handbook.
Show y'all how to grind. How to get this cash. How to stay away from sucker niggas, man. They don't mean you no good, man.
I remember at this point being like, this is fantastic. This is really good.
Let me tell you why. Yeah. One day I woke up to a greater day. Look, stay in tune, man. The Hustler's Handbook, man.
The Hustler's Handbook.
And then that's the end of that song.
That's the end of that song.
So wait, pause it. I remember hearing that and being like, okay, Kendrick, like what the fuck is this? You know, but then I'm like, it became apparent that when he's...
Well, that was 2 tracks. That was 2 tracks. That was 2 tracks.
You need this in your life
was one 10-second track.
And then that second song, if
where
you
just
can
goes
call
the Hustler's Handbook.
Like,
it says the N-word a few times.
And it's like literally, like when you're waiting for him to go in, you know, like... I'm like, the beat was fucking sick, and you're just like in there. But when he doesn't go in and actually start rapping, it becomes very apparent that this is not music he's making. Like this is a separate instrumental, and then the song just ends. He never goes in. He just says the couple.
Like
he just says the Hustler's Handbook a few times.
It's edging. It's just edging. The whole album's just edging because it's like he's about to spit. And then the song ends, and it's like circular reasoning. All right, this is track 3. There's always uncomfortable silence.
The Hustler's Prayer. O Creator of all things, I surrender all. My family needs you, I need you. The world needs what I have to offer. Help me, For this day I go out into the world naked and alone. Without your hand to guide me, I would wander far from the path which leads to success and happiness. I know to whom much is given, much is expected. So expect me to do your work with greatness. Amen.
End of track 3.
Yeah. And that reminds me of like the intro to 17 by X.
Yes. Well, you know what? The words he is saying are pretty good. Like they're like impactful. It's like
So
a little bit
far.
of a sermon. Oh yeah, no, it obviously gets worse. But just that bit, just analyzing that track, it's like we just sat through 3 intros to an album. 3 intros. Like any one of those things could have been the one intro, and
Or
like,
the whole thing.
and then it's but like
Could have
also
been one thing. It was only less than a minute.
oh my god, and then it's like. But it's just like at this point we're like, wait, what is this supposed to be? Is this an album of music? Is this like a self-help audiobook thing? Then why is there track 2 just that little song where you're just saying the Hustler's Handbook, the Hustler's Handbook?
I think track 4 we get into the formulaic
Of like songs kind of.
the formulaic lick. It's just like playing the lick over and over.
He has so much ambition though, because like the words in the little monologue there are not bad at all. It's a great prayer. It's like it's interesting to
The
listen
Hustler's
to.
Prayer.
The Hustler's Prayer. I think it's great. And if it were like in the middle of an album that was the rest of it was music, you know, it'd be pretty good.
On your shirt.
Oh no. All right. Track 4.
Okay.
Think is having a conscious mind to some extent of reasoning, remembering experiences, making rational decisions, or to have a certain thing as the subject of one's thoughts. So, I was thinking, are you really thinking? If you're thinking what I'm thinking, think about it. Thinking what I'm thinking isn't thinking at all. I think thinking like you isn't thinking neither. You think I'm crazy, don't you?
A little bit.
Word to look at, let alone thinking about think is hard to think about.
Thinking about think it's hard to think about.
I just do.
This is like a commercial music. Like this is like a weird
Wait, is
ad.
it still going? Okay, well,
End of
that's-
track 4.
End of track 4. It's just the word think. Like, I'd like to get the lyrics to that because it's just, are you thinking what I'm thinking about when I'm thinking? Because that's hard to think about hard because that's hard to think about. And you know what? I don't think I do.
And that's the end. And it kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense. It kind of
it's
makes
also
sense.
just
but again,
like-
it's like that's another interlude.
It's
like
like-
that's like another intro.
It's like when you're hearing somebody speak like Spanglish and you're picking up like a few words. It's like there's this video on the internet of how English sounds to people who don't speak English, and it's like it's like you can almost get what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
It's like, huh?
But it's not that because of like there's not any you can hear exactly what he's saying, like he's articulating perfectly. It's just you've never really quite heard those words in the order before. So you're like, what? Like it sounds like he's making no sense at all, but he's making perfect sense.
Well, it's like it starts off and you're like, okay, I'm with you, and it's like, slow down.
It's like, are you thinking about thinking? It's hard to think about thinking. And you're like,
Okay, I'm there.
what?
Okay, I'm there. I'm there with that one. And then the next line is he's just like, thinking.
He says thinking like 7 times in
And
one
now
sentence.
I'm just sitting here thinking, and I thought you were telling me to not think and just do.
And now I'm thinking about what are you saying about thinking?
And then, I'm fucked up.
I can't believe it.
It
Track
fucks me.
4 is another intro. It's like intro. Like they're
Track
all
4 is an
interludes.
audio note. Track 4 is a voice memo.
Track 4 starts with a boom dun, dun, and it sounds like a Carl Sagan. Like I picture like a fucking space like camera, like a view of Earth from a satellite. When I hear the beginning of track 4, you're like, dun, dun, dun. What are you thinking about? Like like that's so.
Okay, we have not yet hit the where the in the middle of songs. I'll stop it when we get to a song where the formulaic shit happens.
Yeah.
We'll finish that track and then stop. I'll explain what went on, what you just heard. We'll think about it. All right, this is what we're 52 seconds in this album. We're on track 5.
I do.
Wait, because he ended with.
little, and this is a little about what I do. I do want to find a cure for breast cancer. I do know in life, death is inevitable. I do work hard because my mom showed me how to. I do know everything isn't what it seems.
You just ran.
I do feel America doesn't care about our black babies. I do know there is still racial profiling. I do know as a black man, I have to fight with my intellect and pen than with my hands because we are most hated. I do know it's easier to get a gun than to get a degree. I do know I have to read to stay ahead of the curve.
Oh no, not this one.
I do this for all my brothers locked away due to the injustice of the United States justice system. I do this for the fallen. I do this for my family.
It's all fair points.
It's all.
I do this for Runchy. I do this for those that didn't get a second chance at life. I do know that drugs are put into our communities to keep us down and then paid.
Based.
I do know there are other ways to get money in the streets other than selling drugs or hurting people.
Yeah, prostitution.
I do know that fast cash don't last. I do take advice, but only if you live a similar life.
That's valid.
I do know that people say stuff just to hear themselves talk.
No.
The instrumental restarted.
I do know the world is full of opportunity.
It's looping.
That's the formula.
If everybody is doing one thing,
Okay,
I do
wait,
the opposite.
listen to it, listen to it. I think I can rewind it. Can I rewind this?
I do know I am truly blessed.
Oh, it just restarts the track.
I do. I do know a lot about a little.
Alright, we'll
And
just
is a
cut this
little
out.
about what I
No, we'll talk about it while it's playing. We'll catch up to
Okay.
where we were. But fucking, he's like, I feel bad laughing at it because he's saying like real things, you know.
And the last track starts with "I don't think I do," and then the next track is "I do."
and it's so fucking
Like he's
funny.
marrying the two tracks with an "I do."
Yes, I do, yeah.
America doesn't care.
And so the formula with the instrumental is that he never starts rapping ever.
No.
It's not a mix. It is just spoken word, like
My intellect.
it reads just like a note that he wrote. It's just notes that he wrote and is saying over an instrumental. And if the notes are too long from the instrumental, they just
It just
loop.
loops
They just
the
restart.
instrumental.
So let's listen for
I do
it.
know I have to read to stay ahead of the curve.
It's
And there's a
in a
lot
minute.
about
It's in a
reading
while.
later on.
I do this for all my brothers locked away.
It's so funny
Like he's
because-
saying shit that's like it makes me feel bad for laughing about it, but it's not like he's saying base shit. He's like, oh yeah, you put.
I do this for my family.
It's close. It's
It's
close.
close, yeah.
I do this for Runchy.
I don't know what he says there.
I do this for those that didn't get a
Brunch.
second chance at life. I do know that drugs are put into our communities to keep us down and then paid.
Okay, so the thing that's fucking insane about it
I do know
is
there
that
are other ways to get money in the streets other than selling
imagine if
drugs
you're just
or
in a
hurting
car like we were, and I was just like, did it just loop?
people. I do know that fast cash don't last. I do take advice, but only if you live a similar life. I do know that
It
people
looped.
say stuff just to hear
All
themselves talk.
all rise for the national anthem.
Oh my god. Because like okay, when you hear a guy
Wait,
like
there's-
saying
we haven't heard this yet.
If everybody is doing one thing, I do the opposite.
Cool.
I do know I am truly blessed. I do know God blessed all us with gifts and talents. I do know you have to pray to change things. I do know you receive what you give.
Uh-huh.
I do know the streets will feed you. I do want to be a role model. I do want to inspire. I do know I can go on and on about what I do know,
you're telling me
but I do not want to bore you.
you don't. That's it.
That's the song.
It just says I do know I can go on and on about what I do know, but I don't want to bore you. And then the song ends.
Well, imagine you're us sitting in the car and you just literally so imagine you're sitting in the car and the song for I think ends and we sit the whole time laughing about I think. We pause, we spend 10 minutes laughing about I think. We hit play. We hear I do. We spend another 5 minutes, pausing just after the words "I do," laughing, and then we hit play again, and he goes, "I do want to find a cure for breast cancer."
It's so rad. Like, it's so out of fucking left field.
That it was just laughing about the last song, laughing about "I do," and then all right, what's he got? "I do want to find a cure for breast cancer." That'd be great. Yeah, me too, dude. Shit.
Like, oh my god, it's so insane because it's like like obviously it's funny because it's fucking just a guy talking over royalty-free instrumentals and then he's selling it as a mixtape, like, you know, and then the opening song implies that it's a rap album too because it's upbeat and he starts saying things on beat. But never rapping.
We've been talking about 2 minutes for 10 minutes.
Oh my god. There's so much to unpack here, but like in that song, like if any of those things were said in the right context, there's nothing fucking funny about it. But like even the breast cancer line, if some, I don't know, like an address at city council, but just putting a looping royalty-free music over already makes it funny.
Looping loyalty-free music that sounds like fucking "Hail to the Chief."
Yes.
It's like "All rise for the national anthem." The Hustler's Prayer. All rise for the Hustler's Prayer.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
Okay.
All right, next track.
We just gotta hop into it. We're on track, and this all happened like rapid fire. I'm like we're on track 7. Like we're just in the car, and they're just going one after the other, after the other, after the other. They're just fucking starting and ending. It's like phases of your life before they're gone. Before you can just. It's my song.
What is an entrepreneur?
It's another commercial.
Entrepreneur. A person who organizes and manages any enterprise.
He reads the
especially
definition.
a business, usually with considerable initiative and risk.
He's not talking metaphorically about what an entrepreneur is in spirit. He's literally defining it.
Does extraordinary things.
Now he kind of is.
Selling greatness. This is my first time actually writing about entrepreneurship or what an entrepreneur is. And to be frank, this is very electrifying for me.
It's like a 3rd grade journal entry.
As I write this,
some of it.
my mind and thoughts can't stay still. So let me take a deep breath.
Childlike energy. It looped again.
Yeah. Let me take a deep breath. Takes a deep breath.
Okay. So what is an entrepreneur? Well, the above 2 quotes give some thought and definition to what it actually is. But I'm going to elaborate on them from my opinion, of course. Presently, an entrepreneur is very similar to a hustler because some of the ways one gets money, but the mentality is different. Unlike a hustler, an entrepreneur is different because they aren't solely driven by money.
But earlier he was singing the Hustler's Handbook. This is the Hustler's Prayer.
Gratification is. Unlike a pre-hustler, an entrepreneur shows signs and does things in a more inventive level. They don't sell things for material things. They do things that will change the world or inspire someone that will.
Okay.
Of course, a pre-entrepreneur doesn't know this, but I know this because I was one.
What is a
I don't think I did something special. I always felt different, but who doesn't when they are growing up?
Where you like have ambition but you don't act
Similar
on it?
to most kids growing up in the hood, I wanted to be a basketball player and make a lot of money like Allen Iverson.
It's gonna loop again.
On the contrary, right here I'm reading this. You know that didn't happen. I didn't realize I was an entrepreneur until I tried working a 9 to 5 job.
That's what I mean by equation.
Yeah.
It's like,
something didn't feel right.
Yeah, it's
no, it wasn't because I couldn't follow or take orders from the manager. It was more because it wasn't fulfilling. My first job was okay because I didn't want to sell drugs anymore. I needed something legit. But after 3 months, I quit. I was only working for the money. That was the same with the other 2 jobs that I had. I worked the same amount of time on those too.
It's gonna loop again.
I hate only working for money only. It's an arrogant and brainwashing thing. Like I said at first, I didn't have a reason until I started writing my first book, Jamel's Raison d'Etre, The Journey of a Young Black Man at the Age of 21. Writing this made me feel...
I don't understand because he's saying
put it back.
Do it. I was doing it because I had a passion to do it. No, I love to write. Don't get me wrong, I had a lot of doubt, but after 4 years, I finished it, published it, and now I'm selling it. An entrepreneur knows that if you work hard and have the product, money is merely a guarantee. When you sell something that you created, you have a whole different outlook on life. An entrepreneur creates to make the world a better place. And after that creation, They sell to make money because you have to have money to survive. Another term for all of this is chasing dreams.
It was looping. I was like, Maddie.
On the next page, I give you the entrepreneurial view. If you ever wanted to chase or pursue a dream, your real dream and not anyone else's, I suggest you write the entrepreneurial view down and put it.
This is clearly a person who is like an author or some sort of self-help guru. This is a writer, not a rapper, not a guy who makes mixtapes, but he just made one.
The entrepreneurial view.
Looped again.
Entrepreneurs are motivated by opportunity and vision.
Can we get the Toyota instant reply on that?
Revolutionary, meaning breakthrough actions.
I don't understand why he's saying like a hustler's different from, or an entrepreneur is different from a hustler.
So many fucking pauses. You could have gotten rid of one of those loops.
Yeah. He says like an entrepreneur fucking isn't motivated by just money. It's like this.
Stay humble. Stay aggressive.
They are people persons. They network.
It's gonna loop again.
They invest in themselves or.
But is he?
They have a mosquito outlook.
It loops again.
He's not an entrepreneur, is what he's saying. Because earlier he called himself a hustler, and this is the hustler's handbook, and this is the hustler's prayer. But now he's saying, well, an entrepreneur is different than a hustler. So is he saying I'm not a hustler anymore, or I'm an entrepreneur is even better than what I am, which is a hustler?
I can't even follow what you're saying because I'm so caught up on the fact that it resolves.
Above all, stay positive,
and then it just
seems worthless. Those are a few of the things I have to keep in mind every day, because being an entrepreneur is an everyday and all day thing. You can't leave work and put it off until the next day like working a regular job.
Oh my good Christ.
Is what you are.
Do we go to the next track? I think we go to the next track.
No. We did 6 tracks just right at one after the other. And then
this one's 5 minutes and 30 seconds long.
No, this is the whole album, I thought. So that we're into this song.
Oh, okay. He's done talking. He's letting the instrumental play to the last loop. Oh, I'd give anything to know the song titles. No, I don't think I think we covered that one. Song 7.
Life quotes. Do what you love, and above all, have hope.
Let's just listen to this one.
If it's meant to be, it will be. No matter what you sell, your product is probably worth more than you think. There's something indefinable in an entrepreneur. It's not about being a genius. It's about not quitting. Write to be understood, speak to be heard, read to grow.
Oh, this could have been in the last song.
If God gives you something you can do, why in God's name wouldn't you do it?
2. I'm waiting for 3.
Everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself.
Brainwork's.
You already covered all of this in the last song.
Brainwork's on 2 ideas.
There is nobody as strong as you holding you back from being happy and successful. Self-leadership is key for leading others.
That's true.
Chasing dreams is an understatement for me. It's more like ambushing. Networking is about making new connections, but also about
It's like he's
losing
turning
old
the
ones.
page.
Do you think he just fucking finds an instrumental and just grabs it, drags it in, and just starts recording over it? Or do you think he picks an instrumental based on what he has to say? Because he's been saying, generally speaking, the same thing every song. But
I think he
all
just
of the
drags
different,
it in. I think he just drags it in.
Or he's like, no, this one needs like a funk. It got so much louder.
Oh my god.
Instrument. He's done talking.
Yours.
The choice is yours. Fade out. No, it got louder again. Over. Good Christ.
Just keep rolling.
Think different. From Steve Jobs. Here's to the crazy ones.
I know what this is.
The misfits. The rebels. The troublemakers. The round pegs in the square holes. The ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules. And they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. But about the only thing you can't do is ignore them. because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world.
This is the most tedious instrumental yet.
Who do. Brainwork too.
Oh, why is it so loud?
That's the end of that one.
Cuts off. That wasn't it. That was foreshadowing.
Sight of a blind person. If I had the sight of a blind person, I would still be able to see the world for what it really is.
If I was blind,
if I had the sight of a blind person, all visible imperfections would be perfections. If I had the sight of a blind person, I wouldn't have to ask for help. People would just offer. If I had the sight of a blind person, I wouldn't be able to judge you because of what label you wear. If I had the sight of a blind person, I wouldn't base how I treated you solely on your skin color. If I had the sight of a blind person, I would have to make choices from the core of what I felt. If I had the sight of a blind person, I wouldn't be able to see if you mean mug me because of your own insecurities.
I wish I had the hearing of a deaf person.
If I had the sight of a blind person, I wouldn't be able to say a person had money because of what I saw.
There's like city bustling in the background of his talking. Do you think he just was recording this in public, or this is
maybe
B-roll of that he got?
Maybe he could.
If I had the sight of a blind person, there would be no sight for sore eyes.
This is he's just recording South.
Only if I had the sight of a blind person.
If I had the sight for, if I had the sight of a blind person, there would be no sight for sore eyes.
That's the way I see things today. The sight of a blind person.
Do we need a minute?
If I had the sight of a blind person, there would be no sight for sore eyes.
Oh, that is the track time that we're in, actually.
So,
by the way,
that one is like, that one's a poem. That one's clearly a poem, because he starts with the sight of a blind person, then reads it, and then ends it with the sight of a blind person. So that one's clearly a poem. And again, like any one of these songs show up in the middle of an album where the rest of the album is actual music. Like, it's not that weird, but making a whole mixtape of it, and some of them just drag on and the fuck on. And also, it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, I wanna, we are shitting all over this for a brief moment. I want to start, I genuinely think that we need to remind people of what we said earlier about you take these things out of context, and a lot of them work. Like, it's just, he takes it. He takes like a thing that's really good to say, or sometimes a really woke ass thought. Some of these things I haven't thought of before, and I'm like, I kind of agree. But then like circular reasons himself into submission. Yeah, like he just beats the horse until it fucking is in pieces. It's just intestines and teeth, and you're like looking at it and you're like, that's not what we started with. Yeah. And it's like, that's not a horse. And it's like, yeah, it is. See, it's got intestines and teeth, and so we're all just horses. And it's like, nope, you killed a horse. It's like it's like, I'm not a horse because I have intestines and teeth. You fucking killed a horse. You beat a dead horse, actually.
You beat a dead... Yeah, no. He takes, like it's like base entry level, like, self-help and, like, you know...
Some of it's gonna
motivational manifestation mindset shit. Like, I don't know, man. It's someone who is clearly a writer.
I want to say I do like his message. Like, I like him.
Well, yeah, of course. Like, no, there's nothing wrong with this guy
and I like
at all.
Brainwork too.
Oh, it's one of the best things that's ever happened to me.
Okay, good.
Oh, no, of course. No hate to this gentleman. It's just, this is so fucking surreal and hilarious. And I'm not going to pretend like it's not surreal and hilarious. But there's nothing wrong with this guy or anything like that. As far as we know. I mean, we don't fucking know the guy. But
I just want to say, this is not hate. This is appreciation.
Yeah, as this is definitely a form of appreciation.
This is how we show love to this thing.
Yeah, definitely.
This is how we show love to Brainwork, because it means a lot to us.
Yeah, as much as we deconstruct it and pick it apart, this has brought me some like high levels of joy in my life, and I do need this in my life.
I mean, fuck. Ow, fuck. Oh, fuck. I just pulled something so fucking bad. The Hustler's Prayer, man. I was
it's like the room. It's like the room. It's the same thing about like Tommy Wiseau coming around to the room. But at least this guy is saying like base shit every once in a while. Like he has thoughts in his brain.
Imagine just
his brain work.
In a car with this fucking thing. There's this video of just this thing during one of these monologues, and it looks like Xander here is giving a speech. The Among Us. I'm pointing at the Among Us. The Among Us figure's name is Xander, and there's a video of it. Looks like he's giving like an inaugural address.
It's so good.
There's a track here that we're gonna get to soon that the earlier tracks foreshadowed by name dropping Steve Jobs.
Right.
We'll get there when we get there. All right, we had some technical difficulties. Xander, at the end of that story, popped the disc. We had to find where we are, but we're here back now.
Yep. Next track.
We're on track 10 out of 17.
Yep.
Tired. Tired of all the hate. Tired of all the fake. Tired of all the killing. Tired of the sinner.
It's just out on the street.
I'm tired of the untrustworthy in my face saying I can trust them. I'm tired of people saying one thing and doing another. I'm tired of seeing my mom struggle when she should be relaxing and not fight with her brother. I'm tired of leading by example while looking back and not seeing any followers. I'm tired of fighting for people to see my vision.
I'm following you, brother.
I'm tired of people saying rap is just entertainment when people die from rap more than actors in Hollywood.
You're not rapping.
Yeah.
I'm tired of delayed gratification.
As opposed to instant gratification.
My time. I'm tired of people telling me what I should be doing.
Straw man after straw man after straw man.
I'm tired of sacrificing important things in my life to help others. I'm very tired, but not enough to not be thankful and grateful. I know my kids will benefit from the hard work I put in.
Dude, this guy has a very solid worldview that is like good advice.
I'm just tired.
But it's just kind of hearing him just say what's on his mind over.
I feel like this was
royalty-free
recorded on the
instrumentals.
street. I bought it from him.
Oh, certainly.
Okay, track 11.
Yeah, you know what?
Love.
Can I pause it real quick?
Yeah.
I just realized, the B-roll shit, it is him just fucking recording wherever he is, because that's why the audio spikes up, probably. Because he's done talking, so he puts the mic away and it just goes. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's not like he just got like subway noises or shit like that. He is just recording them in public with those ones.
But the beats he did automate up.
Yeah. Then you do it with those too. Yeah. That's weird.
Unless he like had a boombox or something with him.
Oh. And he was like playing them off the computer and then just talking over them with one mic into one mic.
Yeah, but it's too good a quality.
Is it?
Yeah. No, I can
Getting money for writing is a validation of my ambition. That's me.
Wait, I hear.
What is love?
I can hear car.
On the real, nobody really knows. They get
like
highly
wind
good
and
opinions,
shit.
but that doesn't make it factual. So, I'm going to get my highly good opinions on what love is. Love is the feeling I get when I look at my kids. Love is the feeling I get when I look at my mom. Love is the feeling I get when I realize how blessed I am to be living. Love is the feeling I get when I look into the clear blue skies knowing my soul is free. Love is when you dedicate your life to helping, inspiring, and changing others' perspectives. Love is when you change the negative ways of living because of your kids. Love is when you are there for a person when they are in the right or wrong. Love is dying on the cross for my sins. Love is putting out your personal experiences to help others.
Is he comparing himself to Jesus and saying he loves
Love is
Jesus so he loves
sacrificing your
himself?
happiness for others.
No, I think he's saying love is putting yourself on a cross like Jesus did for me.
That makes
I
sense.
think.
That makes more sense.
To sum it all up, God is love.
Based. The audio spike.
Oh my god!
And then just cuts off before the loop's even done.
He's like, yeah, right there. And there's always like silence.
What if?
Yes.
Oh my God, yes.
Sometimes I just sit back shaking my head.
This is the single.
So,
be quiet.
what if? What if Obama listened to the naysayers that say he couldn't be the president? What if Pippen said he wanted to be better than Jordan and then play his position he was given? What if we bought less Jordans and more books and actually read them? What if my ancestors care less about education and more about their appearance? What if we stopped buying designer clothes and Jordans for 6 months and bought stocks or invested in a company?
Dial-up
What
noise.
if all black people refuse to sell drugs to other black people? What if all black people, young and old, knew that drugs are placed in America to keep us incarcerated and enslaved?
That is based.
And then it cuts out.
Would
and
they
the
still
campfire
use or sell them?
loops.
Yeah. Yeah, the campfire's a loop.
I mean, like, what if Steve Jobs was black? What if Martin Luther King Jr. was white?
I just have to say, when we first listened to that, we thought he said, what if, like, he's just postulating by a campfire is the setting of the song. And we thought he said, what if Martin Luther King Jr. was right?
And I was like, was he wrong?
What do you mean, what if? I was like, what the fuck?
But then we later, like a month later, I was like,
Realized he said, what if Martin
I was
Luther
like,
King?
Maddie, he said Steve Jobs is black. He said, what if MLKJ was white? And
Yeah.
we were like, oh.
But then that made it make less sense even. Because we were like, wait, what if? What do you mean? What, like,
yeah,
what do you
because
mean?
that's even worse than if you're saying, like,
Is he saying, like, what if a white man started the civil rights movement to
I think
end Jim
he's
Crow
saying-
for black people?
I think-
or we're saying,
I
what if
think-
the whole thing was switched?
I think he's saying believe in destiny and that MLKJ was meant to do that thing and start the civil rights movement as a black man. What if he was white? What if it never happened? And it's like, okay, what if I can answer that? Like,
No, I don't even think he knows what he's trying to say by that. Because, like, what if Steve Jobs was black?
yeah,
what is he
it's
saying?
like we thought he said.
Is he genuinely just asking?
What if MLK was right? And I was like, well, he was. So yeah, what if this Brainwork exists? You know, because and it's like, oh, he said, what if he was white? And it's like, yeah, what if he was? Like, what the fuck? Like, then nothing.
I don't.
It's like
I
then
don't know what
nothing,
he's saying.
then bad, then bad, then bad, then nothing.
I think he's just literally just asking. Like, I mean, is he
What
making
if
a
Steve
statement?
Jobs was black? What would iPhones be different?
What if rappers rapped about how many books they read or how many guns they turned in? What if she got drunk of how many books I wrote or read versus how many drinks I could buy her?
What if she got drunk off of how many books I wrote or read than how many drinks instead of how many drinks I bought her? Again, I don't know what that fucking means. even.
I do know what it means, but it's base level philosophy. It's like, what if she was attracted to my intellect and not me buying her drinks? It's like there's so many flaws with that statement. And also, like,
It's the way it's phrased.
what if we bought less Jordans and more books is the best thing he says on this.
Yeah, that's the fun. I love that line. What if we bought less Jordans and more books? It's so good.
What if she wasn't interested in what I drive, but what drives me?
See,
That's a good line.
that's what I'm saying.
What if I
Drive.
never picked up that gun and pulled the trigger?
Whoa.
What?
Whoa.
That's it. It takes a turn.
That took
it takes a fucking turn.
Because he just said, what if this? What if that? Oh, self-help, blah, 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 blah.
Hey,
Hustling,
what if
this
we
and
bought
that.
less books and more? What if we bought less Jordans and more books? What if humanity was better? What if we cared more about things that mattered, like intellect? What if I never killed that dude on March 31st, 1996?
What if I never picked up the gun and pulled that trigger? And he's just selling that to people. It's like, what is it? What is he talking about?
Is this it's like a confession? It's like, huh? You're just listening to this and we're laughing in the car, and then we're just like, what did he say?
Yeah, we leaned in. I remember leaning in and being like, what? What if I never picked up the gun and pulled the trigger?
Yeah, like what if it's like what if this, what if that, what if I never killed that dude outside the subway on 31st Street on the corner of Marks and 8th, and it's
It
like,
says his name.
whoa.
What if I wasn't the Zodiac killer?
It's like, what if the Earth was round?
What What if the sun and the moon switched? What if sheep were red? What if I didn't do it? What if I wasn't?
Instead of Columbine, it was Bine Column. It's like, huh?
What if he?
I think this leads into one of the magnum opus. This is one of the magnum opus songs, but I think this leads into the letter because
what if they find her body?
That theme of just. The whole album has just been this funny philosophical like journey, this lighthearted like, oh, okay, we're into this is kind of funny, like I'm enjoying it, there's been some funny lines, there's been some good lines, this is a laughable fucking thing, this is a enjoyable fucking thing, and then it takes this turn right here with the fucking what if I never killed that dude, and then goes right back, and it kind of leaves you like, okay, that was weird. Going to go forward now, and it just dives in deeper to that, like as we go on, and it's like, oh no,
it gets stranger from here.
It gets stranger,
like a quicker
and a bit
rate.
Disturbing.
Yeah, it gets exponentially weirder,
and not in like an actual confessional way. It's just like he starts sharing things that feel like a little like, you can't be too personal with your art, but it's a bit jarring.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
It's a bit jarring to be passing.
It's like
out
when
to
you
strangers.
meet a dude on the street and they start telling you your life story. It's like, yeah, my mom fucking died of cancer last week, and it's like, I'm so sorry, kind of thing. It's like, fuck, like can I get my change? Like fuck.
Yeah. No, it's like clearly this is somebody's serious fucking shit, but it's like you're just telling people as they're going about their day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sit back and think, what if my father was in my life? Would I still be the man I am today? What if there were no crabs in the barrel when you were trying to climb to the top?
No idea what that
I
means
say
at all.
about a lot of shit. I know what the outcome would have been to all of these. But I say all that to say, dream big, follow your dreams, inspire and change the world no matter what they say. If they didn't say anything, you wouldn't have anything to fight for. Brainwork 2.
Brainwork 2. And then the audio spike. That's what I mean by formulaic. It's like say word, audio loop, say word, audio loop, say word. Like, we're building to something, let down, audio spike.
Oh my god.
And it's like he says this shit. He's like, what if I never bought that gun and pulled the trigger? What if my fucking father was in my life? And it's like, whoa, he's getting deep. Like, shit, I'm listening. What if all them crabs in the bottom of that barrel and I was climbing the top of the ladder?
I don't know what he means.
What did you just say? It's like, what are you saying? I don't know what you're saying.
What if there were no crabs in the barrel when you were trying to climb to the top, I think is the line.
It's like, oh, you lost me. We're getting loud this episode. We're peaking. And I'll fix it, but it's fine. But it's so jarring. It's like, huh? And then he just goes Brainwork 2, and then the audio spikes. It's like, it's self-fulfilling prophecy.
That's so good.
No, they're earning.
Y'all gotta ask me, what's vision? I told him, vision is the art of seeing what is invisible to others.
Weren't we just talking about
That's
a
by
blind
Jonathan
man?
Swift. Then I said, vision? What can I say?
I hardly know her.
Even people with 20/20 vision don't have it. It's not about the cornea, pupil, iris, or none of the other parts of the human eye.
The quantity of pupils.
It's sight. Vision has nothing to do with sight when it pertains to a hustler and chasing dreams.
Is he a hustler or an entrepreneur?
Vision is very comparable,
He said those two things are very different, he said earlier.
but a little deeper than art. Vision is faith. Vision is reliance. Vision is confidence, man. Vision is passion.
Vision is me
Vision is
killing
dreams.
that dude on Mars.
Vision is goals. Vision is credit.
Vision is pulling the trigger.
Vision is belief.
What
Vision
is
is
the
gospel.
audio D-spike?
Yeah, that was weird.
Vision is divine. Vision is boldness. Vision is bravery.
This one's got loud ass noises in the background.
Vision is aggressiveness.
I wonder if it's metaphorical. For
Vision is
emotional
positivity.
state.
Vision is all of these entities plus more. Some say you have to have vision before you can really have sight. On a biological standpoint,
Biological.
this isn't true. But from a spiritual and dream chasing point of view, this is very true.
Yeah. We
I
know.
base everything I do on a spiritual and dream
He's saying like
chasing point of view.
you can't like you. He said you have to have vision before you have sight. He's like biologically this is not true, but like metaphysically, like spiritually it is.
How?
You have to before sight meaning achieving your goals. Vision meaning setting out to do them. You can dissect it all you want, and it will lead back to just like, oh, set a goal, and you do it. And it's like that's a pretty standard thing.
Yeah.
Like,
He hasn't said one wrong thing
like-
the entire time.
Yeah, but a lot of it's like, duh.
Yeah.
Because God is the truth. I do study biology in college, but without God, we wouldn't be able to do nothing. You might be saying to yourself, I don't see something that isn't there. How do I get vision?
We're talking about
You have to
faith.
ask God for the vision to see things others can't.
We're talking about faith.
I say that because you might have a feeling that something is missing, or you are not really
It's not
comfortable
something.
with the job you are doing. That's when you know something is missing.
I'm sorry, if you're just listening.
That's when you
Maddie
know
has
you
a
need
set
to
that
ask
you're
God for
sniffing
vision
a
to
candle.
place
It's not something.
you on the path God wants you to be on. After you ask God for the blessing to have vision, you have to be open and willing to receive it. If and when you receive something that seems, let me find the word, unreal, that's when you should sit back, thank God for the blessing of vision, and get to work.
There's reverb.
This is the way I see vision.
Okay.
Okay. To Ernie.
Customer. Customers don't know what they want until we've shown them.
Oh my.
Selling greatness. First and
It's
foremost,
a commercial.
without the customer, there is no hustler. Let's get that straight now. Secondly,
Let's get that straight.
you have to decide which one you are.
Well, have you? Which one
This
are
might
you?
sound crazy, but I have to say it. As a black man, I can only speak from a black perspective. From a toddler, black babies are taught to spend money and work for others. We are taught to spend money to be better than each other, which is supposed to make us feel better. All that does is show our self-doubt and vulnerability to a hustler. This is not to say black people are the only customers, but we are the biggest spenders.
It's like, where is he going with this?
What riddles me is when people call themselves hustlers,
Like
but
you?
they spend all of their money on things that depreciate.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Let me tell you now.
Well, he's talking about
you are
like
not
being a
a
victim
hustler.
of the capitalist system
I
and
repeat.
how that like obviously affects.
It's like we said this.
Yeah.
You are not a hustler.
We dissected the
customer.
horse. You told me I was a horse because I have
Don't
teeth
get
and
me wrong.
intestines. I said no, and you
I
kept
like nice
beating
things,
it
too.
to try and prove that
But I
you're
have to
right.
spend money on things that bring money.
Well, I already told you.
I said we are taught this at an early age because in my elementary school, there was never a person that owned a lucrative business or a person that received higher level of education.
It's
Come to my classroom
maybe the
and tell
audio
us how to be
looping
an
is
entrepreneur.
symbolic of how he keeps saying the
It was
same
never a
fucking thing
bestseller.
over and over
That's true.
again.
Well, what's okay? If you want to get real deep about it, what I find the most weird about like the philosophy of the album is that like
he talks about he says like the most base shit, you know, but then he also like okay, basically his point is like, you know, the capitalist system affects everybody horribly, you know, because we're taught to spend money on things to make us feel better, and like it's spiritually bankrupt, but it disproportionately affects like marginalized people even more.
Yeah.
You know, because like black people,
And that's what I mean. I really like.
and it's like
what
that's
she
obviously
said.
true. So, but then he goes on the whole thing about you're either a customer or you're a hustler, and then he talks about the entrepreneurial shit, not
It's
from
like,
a philosophical point of view.
I thought you just shit on the people,
the whole system,
who
but then
sell,
he's
and then you're saying so, but then you did a comparison after shitting on it and saying that the people who sell are the wolves and the people who buy are the sheep, as if you're looking up as if the wolves are good and the sheep are bad, when you just said that
the whole thing's fucked.
the people are good and the whole thing is fucked that we're taught to consume and buy. But then you're like,
But then the entrepreneur song, he's talking about literal business acumen and shit like that.
And it's like a very like almost like weird, like obviously, you know, it's not like
He's got it both ways. He's like, oh, you're a hustler and the rest of the people are sheep. You either have the confidence to achieve your vision and make it, or you become a consumer and a sheep. And then he's like, oh, but it's all fucked up and we're all in the same system. And it's like all of that is true. It's just the way you're equating it is contradicting itself.
Yeah. And I think because, you know,
It's
when you
we're
talk
talking to Sander. We're like, the way you're saying it is contradicting.
I think when
itself,
you
dude.
talk this long about a subject, you start just saying all the points of view about it. You know? Like,
it's everything everywhere all at once.
yeah. Like, because on the instrumental, like, I found on the ones where there's not music in the background, he's saying things a lot more focused and streamlined and spiritual, where you can get his life message. On the ones where there's music in the background, he's mostly filling time and he starts saying things that don't make any sense. You know what I mean? Because, like, huh?
Yeah, just touch.
Good thumbnail.
There was only one football player came to talk to us. Basically, that showed us we could do sports, but nothing else. Even though he was white. That's not to say every school in the ghetto was like mine. I can only
White
imagine,
people
though.
can play sports. Black
Like I
people
always
are
say.
fucking, you know, it's like it's
Most people-
What are you saying?
No. That line, I think he's saying. He said someone who plays sports came to his school and talked to him, and it got it through their heads that all they could do is play sports, even though like the guy who was even telling him that was a white guy.
Okay.
I think.
No, it feels like he's equating like in sports that like white people are the marginalized group, and he's flipping the coin,
What?
and that's why I'm confused, because I'm like, what is he saying?
That's the thing. I don't know what he's saying.
Is he saying that like there's two sides of the coin and that what is
Is he doing? Is he making a reverse racism take?
Yeah, that's what it feels like. I'm trying to say it feels like with the whole like what if Martin Luther King was white thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to fucking.
But
tell
that
what he's
makes
talking
that's
about.
the dumb take.
No, yeah. I think coupled with the other takes, I don't think that's what he's trying to say at all.
Okay, let's just let him cook.
Do or don't do great things, get one or two instilled in them at an early age. I'm not saying becoming a professional football player isn't great, but there are other professions that they should be exposed to. That right there alone kept us in the customer mentality.
What?
Some think that because they work at a job for what I like to call peanuts, they spend all of their money in Foot Locker, is hustling. That's not hustling.
I remember where I was when I heard that.
That's slaving. Most of the time, people buy material stuff because they are not happy with themselves. This is what most hustlers feed off of. Customers love spending money, and we love collecting money. Case in point, Nike, Gucci, Ray-Ban, Michael Kors, and many, many others know if and when customers see a hustler or somebody they look up to with their name on them, their product is good as gone. They also know customers will do anything to get that product so they can be like that person. Some customers won't buy a product until they see others with it. That's the mentality of a customer. Buy, pay out, and blow money. Spending money on something that they can make money on doesn't register in their mind. For example, I know a 20-year-old guy I met in D.C. whom I tried to take under my wing, as the old people say. He's a bright young man. He moved from a Midwest city to D.C. to get away from his negative environment. I commend that. It reminds me of myself. When I first met him, though, I thought he was going to school because we met at Howard University's McDonald's. But as we got to know each other...
The crazy thing is, this guy is in college. Like, he's in...
He told me, I hate learning, reading, education, and all of that shit. Jamil, everybody don't like working for themselves. Everybody not like you. I was a little flabbergasted, so I asked him, if you had the potential to do great things,
So I pulled out a
why not do great things?
and I shot him.
He didn't really answer me. We argued for a while about this. I couldn't agree where he was coming from, and he couldn't agree where I was coming from. After a while, I had to check myself. We had to agree to disagree. Then I had to tell myself that he is right. Everybody can't and won't do great things if they don't want to do great things. I know I can't run around expecting people to do things like I or the people I look up to.
That one of
It
those
hurts
loops
me
sounded
because
like it
people would
wasn't.
rather sit
Like
outside at a shoe
it sounded like he
store overnight
purposefully looped it.
and wait on the
Yeah.
tunes to come out.
Well, I mean,
to
they're all
register for
purposely
school or
looped,
tap
but
into his
it sounded like-
God-given talents.
The way I was perceiving
This
it
really does
before
bother
was
me.
that like it was a loop that was 30 seconds long, and then he just dragged the loop and looped and looped and looped.
Yeah.
But that one sounded like he made a 2-minute instrumental that loops the whole time
Mm-hmm.
instead of like a 30-second, and then he dragged it in and looped it because he was like lazy or something. But the I work for Peanuts line is so fucking funny because there's this movie that we watched a long time ago called See I Ape. By the way, not a single fucking ape joke. Total disappointment.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at it on the cover because we thought about live watching a movie for a minute tonight, and I looked down on it and it said a secret agent who does not work
For
for
Peanuts.
And we didn't realize that there was a connection between these two memes that we have had in our lives, these two inside jokes, which is CIA Ape, the shitty movie, and then Brainwork. We didn't realize that there's the same line in both of them until tonight when we had both of them. But it's so funny because some people like to work for what I like to call peanuts. It's like, you came up with the phrase "work for peanuts"?
Yeah, that was my problem with it when he said it, because that's why I find it so funny. I was like, he said it like some people work for what I like to call peanuts, and it's like you're not the first person to say the phrase "work for peanuts."
Oh my god!
I like, bitch.
Oh my god!
Every time I drive past and see him sitting next to that store in the rain, I want to get out of my car and slap him. But all I do is pray for him and keep leading by example the best way I can. Now that I am more aware of what goes on, I contemplate on bigger things. The people who play football and basketball make a lot of money.
Yes, they do.
People who pay them make more.
Yes, they do.
That's another way to look at the difference between a hustler and a customer. It's not about what you wear, but who you are.
So is he saying that the fucking
Check
professional
this out,
athletes
this
are
is
just
you.
like customers?
It's okay because us hustlers need customers too. The Hustler's Handbook.
It's okay. 'Cause he's talking about how fucking he opened the song talking about how fucked cursed capitalism is, you know? But then he was all like, hey, it's okay because the hustlers need customers too.
I think what he does is he starts off with a really strong point of view, and he's like so open-minded theoretically that he's like, oh, well, if I'm putting myself in the other person's shoes, it could be this way. Oh, and it could also be this way. And by the end, he's so open-minded that he's flipped his point of view.
He comes to a different conclusion by the end of the
Yeah,
track.
it's like me when I was like, I wrote this thing when I was coming up with the best the albums list. I said I like Pink Floyd better than Zeppelin, although I like Zeppelin for their songwriting. I think they're better at writing songs, and I think they're better as a band. And I think the only thing I like about Floyd is Gilmore. I like Zeppelin better than Pink Floyd. I
Right,
was
right,
like-
yeah.
it's like,
He's just cooking, and he gets,
My people.
we're not there yet.
My people, my people,
This
my
is
people.
another like commercial music, or like post.
People are kings and queens. My people are blessed.
It's like a
people are
post rock, like
beautiful.
outro, like Explosions in the Sky or something. Like
My
it's like a
people are
soundtrack.
geniuses.
It's like 4 instruments.
My people are fighters. My people are survivors.
It's like a Howcast.
My people are
Yeah.
clever. My people are wise. My people are brilliant.
He has such an
Welcome
interesting
to your
choice.
new job at HVC. Here's some things you need. It's like a training.
My people are matchless. My people are exceptional. My people are distinctive. My people are special.
Here at Subway, we eat fresh.
My people are phenomenal. My people are glorious. My people are rich. My people are the chosen people.
It looped
I
again.
know what my people are, but my people don't know what they are. Maybe if I say this long enough, I can speak it into existence.
Dude, this one's kind of good, actually. This one's kind of good.
Yeah.
The audio spike.
You can see it.
That one was kind of fucking good.
You know, if it wasn't just a looping royalty-free instrumental, if that was an actual like speech or like a TED talk or some weird like, you know, spoken word situation, and he had a band behind him playing that, it's like that would be powerful as fuck.
It's like that little moment at the end of like a company video where the logo comes up and it's like ding. It's like that for just
Yeah, that looping.
Over and over.
He's saying some real shit there, and he chose that instrumental.
yeah.
All right, continue. This is the one, isn't it?
Letter to my brother.
I can feel it.
Dear Ernie,
Da Ernie. Da Ernie.
Okay, this one has some
Da Bert.
lines.
Da Bert. Da Ernie. Restart that.
I'm writing you this
Restart it. I'm sorry.
It's so good.
letter to my brother. Dear Ernie, I'm writing you this letter to tell you I'm sorry.
Let's just finish this one all the way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for not being the big brother you needed me to be and wanted me to be. I'm sorry for when I used to fight you when you only wanted to hang with me. I'm sorry for throwing that block with the nail in it and cutting your upper lip, leaving you a scar for life.
What?
I'm sorry for introducing you to guns and drugs, even though I told you not to do what I do. I should have known since we didn't have our father, you wouldn't listen. I'm sorry for not being around when the guys on the block always tried to fight you. I'm sorry for not hanging around you to play ball like a real big brother should do. I'm sorry for going to Glenwood without you. I now know if we studied together, we could have gone together. I'm sorry for not showing you how to be a man, but in truth, I wasn't a man. I wasn't a man. Wasn't a man.
Damn it.
All right.
Track
So,
17.
track 16, the letter to his brother does not work. It's either scratched or something's up. If I can get it to work, I'll put it in there. But that it's so fucked because it's just like, dear Ernie, like a letter to my brother. I'm sorry I didn't help you with your homework as much as I should have. I'm sorry I didn't play ball as much as with you as I should have. You know, I'm really sorry that I didn't always play catch when you asked me to. I'm sorry I threw that brick at your fucking head and left you scarred for the rest of your life. I'm sorry I pushed you off the 4-story balcony and introduced you to guns and drugs and violence. And I'm sorry our dad wasn't there, but I couldn't fucking do anything about it. I couldn't do it, Ernie. I couldn't be your dad. I'm sorry I went to Coachella without you. It's like...
Because it goes so serious. Like, it gets so fucking brutal out of nowhere, and then it goes right back to some random shit. But, like, he went to college without him? I don't know what that, like, what does he mean?
If this dude's name is Bert, I will lose my mind.
Oh, my God.
Because it's just out of left field. It's like, you what?
And it's that piano instrumental in the background, just that Randy Newman, just...
It's gospel chords.
Like, barely. It's like this
No,
fucking...
that's God. It's pure gospel.
Oh, my God.
That's 100% gospel.
It's so like it's the dichotomy between what he is saying against the thing he just said and the instrumental
And the idea.
yeah, and the fact that it's in a mixtape.
It's like a dude with multi-personality disorder, like trying to read a poem while switching personalities.
Yeah.
Okay, it's track 17. This is the final track.
Did we even? We gotta skip to it.
My next works, The Young Lost Lady Part 2, which will be in print. Earth vs. Planet K, Earth's Universal Takeover, science fiction. DC Local, a novel. College Boy, a novel. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Jermel_Taylor. Make sure you subscribe to the blog at blog.jermelsraisondetra.com. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel at Arcelicia1. Thank everybody for listening to the Hustler's Handbook, and see you for the next one.
Okay.
The outro.
Everybody, everybody stay tuned for The College Boy, Earth versus Planet K.
It's a science fiction
Earth
novel.
University will take over. Earth University. Earth University.
He said that was a science fiction novel.
And stay tuned for what? Lady Something 2? And follow him. He plugs his Twitter and his blog.
I fucking have mad respect.
Yeah.
No, literally, this has brought us so much laughter and joy. The Brainwork. And, sorry. And so, please do not take anything we're saying as, like, genuine, like, heat towards this random guy.
If you're out there, I love you.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. If you're
and I
out
love
there,
what you made.
Yeah. That you have...
Thank you for allowing us to make something at all out of it. Because I think you will understand what I'm about to say, but if you're listening. Bert, if you're listening.
Bert, if you're out there, fucking...
Hate is just love in disguise. Hate is just love in disguise. It's all love here. We fucking love you and we want more. I want
Brainwork 3.
I'm gonna go read The College Boy. I gotta find that book.
I need to know. I want to fucking... My dream.
Can I get a feature on Brainwork 3?
My dream is to find this fucking guy and sit down and make an instrumental for him. You know, that doesn't loop. Just give him a good fucking instrumental and do some fucking random rambling over it. Give him some good shit. Like, you don't have to pay me. This is all royalty free. It's not gonna loop. It's as long as you want it to go. I'll make it. Just tell me what you want.
We should go to the spot and like try to find. I should find his Twitter. Replay that song. Replay that song. What's his Twitter? Let's find his Twitter. I can do some magic here.
Trying to find it.
Oh fuck! I deleted Twitter off my phone. It's track 17.
Does he have an Instagram?
Oh, definitely not.
My next works. The Young Lost Lady Part 2,
Lost Lady
which
Part
will be
2.
in print.
So this is a part 1.
Earth versus Planet K, Earth's Universe will take over, science fiction. DC Local, a novel. College Boy, a novel. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Jermail _ Taylor.
Jermail _ Taylor.
Jamail?
Jermel.
Jermel with a J?
Yes. _ Taylor.
MEL?
I believe so. I wish you could rewind on this thing.
Oh, I found him.
Make sure you subscribe to the blog.
That's him. I found him.
Because you met him.
Damn, he got a 94 on his bio quiz in 2013. His last tweet was 2013.
So wait, did he go to the same college as you then?
Well, his last tweet was in 2013, and on an album that he gave to me in 2021, it has his Twitter plugged at the end of it, but he's been active. He plugged a Twitter he hasn't used in 7-8 years.
What? But that's certainly him.
It says Planet K, Earth's Universal Takeover in the bio. Washington, D.C.
Wow.
Okay.
Damn, it'll be just like a complete mystery forever. We're over time.
Write what you want, bottomless, from the bottom of the mind. Retweeted by Jamel Taylor on August 1st, 2013. This has been Brainwork 2, and this has been the room that we created.
Bert,
14. So,
yeah.
What are you going to say?
I was just going to say, Jamel, thank you for giving me something I didn't know I needed in my life, but I did. And we appreciate you.
I did need this in my life, Jamel.
I hope to God we find each other one day.
We will.
This is the room that we created.
All right. We love you. See you all next week. Bye.
Is in the hall. The lunatics are in my hall.